up, nation? It is Wednesday. My name is Philip DeFranco, and I'm going to talk about news and top stuff and things that matter to me today. And nation, the first thing I want to talk about today is an update from yesterday's video between the awesomeness that were Chivers, the awesomeness of the internet in general, and those of you that joined me in donating. Just over $100,000 was raised in 6 to 7 hours for 2-year-old Zoe Lush. If you didn't watch yesterday's video, Zoe Lush was born with osteogenesis type 3, which is the most severe. It's commonly known as brittle bone. So one, that's just pure awesomeness, and two, thanks to everyone that either donated or kicked out to it. That was so awesome. Main point, I love yo faces. Then a news I am very excited about, but also kind of standoffish iffy, is that Verizon and Redbox are officially launching their instant streaming service. Redbox, if you're not familiar, is like when you go to the grocery store, you see that giant red box, and you're like, oh, I can get DVDs for like $1 a day? That's awesome. Until I completely forget that I have that DVD and then end up buying it. But now, for people that were accepted into the beta, and later for regular consumers in 2013, they will offer several packages. And looking at these numbers, it is definitely aimed to compete with Netflix. And full transparency, I am sponsored by Netflix. That's why every now and then I'll be like, netflix.com/PhillyD, sign up. It helps you out, helps me out. Looking at these prices, it could be a good deal. Right now, if you pay $8 a month, you get streaming plus 4 DVDs from the kiosks in the stores and access to the online store. If you want to include Blu-rays, you go up to $9 a month. And if you don't even care about the kiosks, it's $6 a month. So the thought on price is nice, but what about the selection of movies? I mean, one of the things you see with like Amazon Prime is that there are really not the best selection of movies there, but Redbox isn't new, so they already have deals in place with like Epic, so that means that they'll get Thor, they'll get Hunger Games just like Netflix. But ultimately for me, sponsorships aside, is it enough for me to switch? No. But that's not to say that they aren't going to be successful. I think if they do something like Amazon Prime, where it's built into the account that you already have, that's fantastic. Like if I have a Verizon account at home, does that mean that maybe I get a discount? Will I be able to access it from my Verizon DVR? And also, will this move give Netflix any reason whatsoever to get their own machines out into the public? I don't know, but what I do know is I just started watching the show Sleeper Cell that is on Netflix, and it is awesome. Then let's briefly mention some sexy time news. One, we have the secret sexy gallery down below. Then two, Victoria's Secret released a video, and it's supposed to be of the Victoria's Secret angels singing Deck the Halls. And in the description they say the angels, quote, put their own spin on a Christmas classic, and by that they mean half of them don't know the words.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Deck the halls of boughs with honey. Let's deck them with honey!
So it's always a good time. And then finally, a thing that happened when Lee Newton from SourceFed came by and she was like, haha, you don't have sexy time news, I should eat this hot dog. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Eat the hot dog. I'll totally put that in a video. And then it actually happened.
Okay, the Chicago style hot dog.
So to the GIF creators and Photoshop enthusiasts of Tumblr and Reddit, you are welcome. What is this show? Then let's talk about some First Amendment news coming out of North Carolina. And that news is a federal judge has now banned North Carolina's ability to make this license plate, ruling that it is unconstitutional to offer this license plate without offering an alternative for the other side, which would maybe look like this. But in his ruling, he said, quote, the state's offering a Choose Life license plate in the absence of a pro-choice alternative constitutes viewpoint discrimination in violation of the First Amendment. Now, it should be noted this case didn't come out of nowhere. The ACLU filed a lawsuit in 2011 after a license plate that said respect choice was denied. Nation, I'd love to know what you think on this. Do you believe that it is viewpoint discrimination? Or hey, you think that the license plate should be a thing that is allowed? Personally, I'm not on one side or the other. I think that if you have a specialty license plate, we are probably less likely to be friends. Like, that's just barely a step above putting a bumper sticker on your car, which, by the way, I'm gonna alienate everyone. I hate people with bumper stickers. Like, when I see bumper stickers on a car, I just imagine that person driving around screaming like, go back to Kenya, Obama, I love my guns, hashtag America. Or I guess the emasculated liberal version of that would be coexist with symbols that I don't understand and also don't drill. Also, I have 17 different bumper stickers to remind people I hate George Bush. Then something I found interesting because I am a people watcher. Humans intrigue me. When I go to Starbucks, it's like 25% for the coffee, 75% because I love watching people. And that news was Facebook revealing the top 10 trends of 2012, starting with 10, Obama's endorsement of gay marriage, the death of Dick Clark, the Aurora shootings, the Facebook IPO, the death of Trayvon Martin, the London 2012 Olympics, then Superstorm Sandy, the death of Whitney Houston, the Super Bowl, and the number one was the presidential election. And that list was interesting compared to Google, who also released their top search events, which looked vastly different. At number 10, BBB12, which is Brazil's version of Big Brother, then Michael Clark Duncan, who passed away this year, Amanda Todd, who took her life after being bullied, the Olympics, Kate Middleton, who is likely on this list compared to Facebook because one, the royal wedding, but two, when those leaked pictures came out, I think people were looking for them, Diablo 3, from people totally not searching for illegal torrents, the iPad had 3, Hurricane Sandy, Gangnam Style only being beaten out by Whitney Houston at number 1. So if you're wondering where the world's head has been for the last year, that's kinda your answer. I'm not really sure how I feel about some of those, but hey, now you know. And then I want to talk about North Korea pissing pretty much everyone off today by successfully firing a long-range rocket. NORAD confirming today that Kim Jong-un and company did successfully launch the rocket, the first stage falling to the Pacific Ocean east of the Philippines, and that they put a weather satellite into orbit. So obviously good news for them, but what did all the other countries say? Well, in the US, Obama is considering Iran-style sanctions for North Korea, and the US National Security spokesman saying that the launch was highly provocative and threatens regional security. South Korea obviously tensed up and had a national security meeting. Britain condemned the launch, saying they're going to consult with other members of the Security Council. And even one of North Korea's only friends, China, was angry, expressing deep concerns about the test, although America was quick to say, well, you've said that in the past before. Which I imagine China was like, no, but he's cool. He's cool. He's fine. He's just nervous. I heard you guys don't like him. But ultimately, it does appear likely that significant UN sanctions will be put into place because of this. And here's the thing. When I found out about this, I was like, well, let's play devil's advocate. Everything that I know about North Korea, which is very specific because there is just a stranglehold on what actually gets out, and everything I do see of North Korea is kind of just like, oh, that seems like a sad, depressing, just a terrible place to live. But from a historical and even a game theory standpoint, I understand why North Korea is doing this. Whether it's the missiles, developing nuclear weapons, like, I get it. It scares the hell out of me, and if Kim Jong-un and company were not a thing, I would feel much better. But historically, you'll notice the United States of America deals with countries that do not have nukes in a completely different way. That being your Libya, your Iraq, your Afghanistan, Vietnam. And maybe it's our side effect from our country, other countries in the world trying to get people to not have nukes. But the message that's going out at the same time is we only talk to people that have nukes, because those countries are the only ones that are even close to being on an even playing field. And I do believe that if everything was switched, North Korea had nukes, they were bigger, we in the United States, whether it was secret or public knowledge, would be working on nuclear weapons. And once again, this is taking all other factors off the table, like North Korea putting this first before their people. That's a whole different situation, but what I kind of see is that when you have a room and you have 2 people and one of those people has a gun, that person can give orders. But when you have 2 people in a room that both have guns, what you have is the beginning of a conversation. Yes, a conversation that may lead to mutually assured destruction. But for the guy that didn't have a gun in the first scenario, this is a much better situation. So that's there, and that philosophical debate can be made, but since we do reside in the real world and I am an American, I am all for sanctions. I would prefer if the crazy guy did not have a gun. And nation, that's everything I wanted to talk about today. And remember to possibly win a $100 Amazon gift card. Leave a comment down below, join the conversation, maybe hit the like button, favorite, subscribe. But guys, of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.